I was thinking about doing this a little bit later, since I know, uh, as of when we're recording this Sunday, Jack Boys 2 is supposed to be releasing, but I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. I had to do this video. And we'll get into that. But the first song I do kind of want to talk about is First Day Out by Grizzley. It's a classic, you know. For one, is that beat switch, and I just love how part of I guess you could call it a hook, but where he just keeps saying that they prayed on my downfall. And then obviously what does solidify this as a classic is the LeBron meme, to where whenever I listen to that song, I cannot help but just think about LeBron just rapping the lyrics. But I mean, I don't know, I don't have much to say about First Day Out. I've said everything that I think everybody else has already said. But speaking of Michigan artists, though, I have been listening to Veeze quite a bit recently. In particular, his project that came out, I think it was last year, Ganger. That shit is just fire all the way around. One song that I have been returning to a lot off that project is Not a Drill. He has a particular way that he raps, very similar to, I guess, Lucky in a way, but at the same time, you know, he's not like, he doesn't sound, I feel like, nearly as sleepy as I think Lucky does, and I don't mean that as a diss towards Lucky, but they both have a very similar way. I think Veeze definitely sounds a little more nasally, which I think adds quite a bit of personality. And then that bass just knocking back and forth it's great. I did pick up 2 new records. I got Music by Carti, holy shit, and I got Die Lit by Carti in the mail, which I will say both of these albums do sound great. I think Music is probably a little more, I think sounds a little bit better than Die Lit, but Die Lit was just a project that people had been asking for so long to be put on vinyl, and it definitely did not disappoint me at all. I will say the only kind of issue I have with it, I don't really like the way RIP sounds on vinyl. That's just me. One song that isn't a massive standout to me, it is a song that I do like off of Die Lit, but it's a song that I didn't think would be a standout when listening to it on vinyl, but somehow it just hits, and that's Love Hurts featuring Travis Scott. And I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's that 808 that's just stretched out throughout most of the song that just hits, and it sounds really good on here. Carti's delivery on this song is something that I really like. In the verse, it's pretty much just regular Carti, but when you get to like the hook, it sounds very kind of chilled back, and just kind of casual in a way, you know, not really like, you know, going too deep in. It's just like you're just kind of like vibing out for the most part. And then Travis Scott has a pretty alright verse on here, not bad. And I almost forgot to, a album that is set to be turning 10 years old this year. It hasn't turned 10 years old quite yet, but it is turning 10 years old, I believe, on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. That is I will say it's a classic album by Future, DS2. This was, I won't say my first big exposure to Future, but this was the album that everybody was listening to. Like, you could not escape several of these songs that were on here, whether that would be Stick Talk, whether if that would be Thought It Was a Drought, or whether that would be Where You At, Fuck Up Some Commas, you know, the list, it goes on. And I think the main reason why this album stands out so much as a classic is the amount of hits that were on it, but as well, I think this album did help pave a way for trap artists to kind of come into the fold, especially in a couple later years, you know, whether if that would be somebody like a Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi. This is one of those albums that I think really did help. My personal favorite track is Thought It Was a Drought. That's, I think, to this day still my favorite Future song, but the one that I have been listening to the most has been Real Sisters. I love how playful the beat is. Like, it sounds like something that you'd hear off of a Nintendo, especially the very beginning of that track, where you have the little like chime that plays. It sounds like it's straight out of like Mario. And then the way he's able to just flow off here, I don't know. I think is one of my, this in particular, I think is just one of my favorite performances that he has on this project. I just have a whole lot of fun listening to it. And he just talks about how he fought twin sisters. That's it. And as well, we have been eating quite a bit recently as far as new music does go. One song in particular, probably my most played song since the last one, has been Bodies by Offset. I don't know if this is a start to a rollout for an album for Offset, but if it's so, I'm so excited. I talked about how at the end of last year he came out with this song called Swing My Way, which I loved, and I think I prefer Swing My Way over Bodies, but this song still hits, man. This song is great. The beat is just tough on its own. And one thing in particular that I was not expecting to like at all. I actually heard a snippet of this song without Offset rapping at first, and when I heard the snippet, I was like, oh no, they're sampling Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. No, dude, because a big gripe of mine as of recently, where artists have taken like iconic rock songs or pop songs, and then they've either remixed it or they're essentially putting their own spin on it, and it doesn't come across good at all. It comes across just like a Temu version of that song. But I think the way that this sample is used is actually a lot more effective than I think, for example, like Quavo did I don't remember I think the song is called Let It Fly, or I Want to Fly Away. I don't remember the full name of the song. I know how it goes though. But that song that Quavo did is just, it's absolutely awful. Because why do I want to hear Quavo sing that song? But with Bodies in particular, I think it's not the entirety of the song that is being sampled. It's just that little bit of the beginning of that song where the lead singer is just whispering, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. And then even how that's worked into the hook is great. But as great as Offset is on here, I'm not gonna lie, the main reason why I'm listening to this song is just for JID. JID absolutely kills this shit. I love when JID hops on something that is a little more, I guess, trap oriented, or something that I guess is just a little more popular in a way. I love when he hops on those kind of beats because he just sounds absolutely great. I know JID came out with a EP before his album that's coming out in August. I thought that was just okay. His performance on here is just absolutely great. I love how he starts out very like cool and whatnot, and then like you feel the intensity of the way he's like rapping and the flows just throughout that song, and just he sounds absolutely phenomenal. And then on top of that too, I think it was may have been the same day, I'm probably wrong about that, but I don't know, recently Ski Mask Slump God actually dropped Catch Me Outside 2, a sequel to a song that really put him on the map. It is a song of his that is really popular, probably my favorite Ski Mask Slump God song. And as far as Catch Me Outside 2 goes, no way is it better than Catch Me Outside 1. But I will say, at least with Catch Me Outside 2, while I don't think he was trying necessarily to top the original Catch Me Outside, I think he did a damn good job at actually making a song that does pay homage to his original, and also able to keep some of that same energy that he did have on the original. I always love getting new music from Ski Mask. Just something about just the way he raps, it's just infectious, and just I can't help but just enjoy it the entire time. I don't know if he's working on another project, hopefully. As far as this week does go, Juice WRLD's team actually put out a 5-year anniversary edition to his first posthumous album, Legends Never Die, an album that I really enjoyed when it came out. I still think it is one of the best posthumous records. Not the best, but I think it is one of the best posthumous albums there has been that I've listened to personally. There are a couple songs off the anniversary edition that I do enjoy. One song that I know fans of his have been hyping for a long time, and that's the song All Life Long. This song should have been like the outro to either this album, or actually, yeah, probably should have been the outro to this album. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what to put it, but it feels like, you know, at the end of a movie where, you know, your heroes are riding off into the sunset. It feels like that. I know Kid Cudi was supposed to be on this song as well. I don't know why he didn't want to be on the song, but I don't feel like that in the released version of this song I don't think it feels like that, oh, they couldn't add him, or like they should have added him or whatnot. Like I still think the song works on its own without Kid Cudi, and I know his fans have been anticipating this song for a very, very, very long time. I can understand why, and this is, I think, one of the better posthumous Juice WRLD songs that I've heard. And then finally, there is a reason why I decided to make this video today specifically. A very anticipated album for me was released today, and that'd be none other than Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clipse. I talked about last video the song So Be It and how much I really enjoyed it. I mentioned Ace Trumpets and how I did really enjoy that as well. The main reason why this has been a highly anticipated album for me in particular is just that, number one, this is been almost 20 years since Clipse has made an album together, and the fact that Pharrell Williams has been producing every track off this album from track 1 to 13, that's also been why I've been so excited, since he is a reason for so many of Clipse's like big moments within hip-hop. When I talked about So Be It, I did also mention that I think the biggest standout for this project was going to be the production. I can confirm after listening to the full project that I do really enjoy the production all the way around from Pharrell, but I wouldn't go as far to say that that is the only standout. I will say I think as a collective for Pusha T and Malice, and I guess Pharrell, adding him into it, I think they all work together really, really well. And I think the main thing that I love about this project is just the performances. The performances, like, everybody is making every verse count, especially Malice in particular. Like, he kills almost every track on here, and that isn't to say I think Pusha T doesn't stand out at all, or that he's the weakest link. I'm not saying that at all. To me personally, I think having a lot of the times Pusha T being at the forefront of it all, and having Malice come in and, you know, deliver essentially what is a second verse to the song, and him kind of being behind the scenes for the most part, you know, I think he stands out a lot more because I think he takes every single verse, every single word that he's saying, and he tries to use it to such a great effectiveness, and to make himself stand out even more than I think he would, even if he was at the focal point. I'll say, even though I'm giving Pharrell and Malice all this praise, Pusha T as well is still pretty great on here. I think he still has great verses. I love his delivery on certain songs, and just he's great, you know. But I kind of expect that from Pusha T, you know. Whether if this is the final Clipse album, or whether if this will be the start of more music from Clipse, you know, I'm happy regardless with this project. Some songs in particular that really stood out to me was The Birds Don't Sing.
Saying you was tired but not ready to go. Basically was dying without letting me know that you love me. It was all in your tone. I love my 2 sons was the code to your phone. Now you home.
This shit is beautiful, man.
Show them love.
Amen.
You show them love.
Type shit. It was such a beautiful opener where they talk about their parents. POV with Tyler the Creator was great.
Not enough shopping, whole lot of browsing there.
Oh my gosh.
I know you thinking how's it fair.
Why does he sound like this?
I got deaf and blind bitches trying to see what it do. Little feature niggas threatening to sue. Tell your lawyer to set the fee.
Really like the outro track as well, By the Grace of God. Such a grand song to end the album off on. And I did enjoy the title track, Let God Sort 'Em Out / Chandeliers, I think that's what it's called. Nas did a great job there too. All things considered, FICO, Inglorious Bastard. I enjoyed pretty much every track off this project. Mike Tyson Blow to the Face has to be my favorite track off here. Just, oh my gosh, like that instrumental is just, oh, it's so disgusting, dude.
Leave impression. What's a testarossa if you don't test them? Ain't your bitch unless you joystick and dress them. My presence, your pleasure. Peasants, he's pressure. I've been knee-deep.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one. I don't need to hear anything else. This is the one. It's so disgusting and just phenomenal performance from both Pusha T and Malice. But that isn't the song I'm going to be talking about today. The song I'm going to be talking about today is a song that has had quite a bit of controversy surrounding it before its release, and it will probably go down as the most popular song off of this project. And it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs off this project. That'd be Chains and Whips, featuring Kendrick Lamar. For one, the beat. Oh my gosh, dude. It's so good. Like, I love how Western feeling it sounds, especially with that guitar that builds up, especially in the more intense parts of the instrumental.
Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
This is culturally inappropriate.
This instrumental is fucking crazy, dude. Lord forbid this doesn't happen. But if Django Unchained ever got a reboot or just a remake or something, in the trailer, I guarantee you will see Chains and Whips being played. That song fits so well for Django Unchained. I just, Pusha T, he murders that shit. I love the hook from Pusha T as well.
Crush you to pieces, I hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it. You think it be valor amongst veterans?
It's so hard, bro. And then Malice. And like I said, for Malice kills it. He kills it all the way.
Richard don't make watches for presidents. Just a million trapped between skeletons. You ain't driving the snow like it's the Revenant and send orders back down to keep shoveling.
But as far as the controversy that I mentioned goes, to kind of go through it as quick as I possibly can, this album was supposed to drop, I believe, last year. If you've been living underneath a fucking rock, Kendrick Lamar and Drake had a back and forth last year. Drake lost. 2018, Pusha T and Drake had a back and forth that year. Drake lost. And towards the end of last year, Drake ended up suing UMG for defamation, pushing the narrative that was made off of Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. To put it more plainly, the man is upset that he lost the beef and people are liking a song about him being a PDF file. And because UMG is being sued by Drake, they don't want a lot of shit being, thrown their way. They reached out to Clipse and said, hey, you guys are on a song with Kendrick Lamar. You need him to change that verse. And they were like, the fuck? No, we're not changing it. They ended up getting dropped from their label, which was Def Jam. And then Roc Nation picked it up, which Roc Nation is owned by by Jay-Z, who also has a bit of beef with Drake. So essentially leading up into this song, a lot of people were speculating if this song was going to be another diss towards Drake. And there was speculation that, oh, it was probably even just Drake didn't want two of his biggest enemies on a song together in fear of them dissing him. Which brings us to this verse. Is there anything about him dissing Drake? Not really. As far as Kendrick Lamar's verse goes, it is so amazing. I don't mean to dick ride, but this verse from him, this might be one of the best features I've ever heard from Kendrick Lamar.
Kaleidoscope dreams, murder and sirens. Let's be clear, hip-hop died again. Half of my profits may go to Rakim. Therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck. The two-time mine, I son niggas, I am the general. Where my gin and juice?
Hold on. You saying too much right now. You saying too much. Oh my gosh. This motherfucking Kendrick Lamar is pissed off. I love the bar as well where he says, therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck. I felt that shit. There was a couple people that I looked up on, actually, I don't remember who the YouTubers were, but they did a bit of a breakdown of his verse and said that it was from the perspective of Trump, which I guess could be the case. I don't know in some instances, but for the most part, I could see it. So a lot of this worrying and a lot of this speculation kind of amounted to nothing. That isn't to say this verse is bad. His verse, like I said, is fucking amazing. I love his feature on here, and just this song is phenomenal. But overall, phenomenal performances all around, phenomenal production, and just, you know, another classic in books, I'll say. And I feel like, you know, now that we're getting Jack Boys on the 13th this Sunday, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I wasn't too impressed with the last song that it came out, but I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year, and just, you know, I think this is the beginning of getting us out of that almost half a year drought that we've been having for music.
He's eating a hot dog under there.
Pat, we know you're eating a hot dog. You can see it from here.
Fuck.